Hi, everybody. Welcome to Better Lait Than Never. Shit.
I'm not actually inside a women's prison at the moment.
The horniness just went up to like 11.
Good afternoon.
At least say a big f*** you to Nick.
Tyler Yaremchuk must go to Cinco de Mayo.
Ty, why won't you kiss me?
Better late than never with bagged milk.
Better late than never with bagged milk.
It's better late than never.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. Fight me if you don't agree.
Long live Arby's. I was going to end the intro early, but then I poked myself in the glasses and now I can't see. I've got a smudge. These are the things that I have to deal with to produce content, and I hope you appreciate it. I'm just kidding. I'm happy to do this. This is honestly one of my favorite parts of the week. Frank, thoughts? Nah, he never speaks into the microphone, does he? Better late than never. This is the 150th episode of this show. Can you believe that?
Episodes really count if I wasn't in the first, 100 of them? This is a bunch of bullshit. You bought the new Roadcaster, all of a sudden Satan comes in and things really takes off. Do you think you really deserve any of the credit? Should be all me and even the little one.
Oh, you're gonna include me in there. Big Dave's still upset about the Canucks being knocked out of the playoffs, but Big Dave's now an Oil man. I popped on an Oilers jersey and I'm ready to cheer the boys on in the Western Conference Finals. I believe.
I wouldn't take anything he says seriously. He's just trying to get on your good side, if I'm being honest.
You get out of here, Satan. What do you know?
All right, boys, let's relax. No need to be hostile. As we do every week, we start off the podcast with a shout out to the audio department. Of course, the audio department works to create a safe space for creativity and collaboration for artists and musicians to realize their potential and share their message through sound and story. The audio department.ca, book some studio time. Get on over there. You know what? If you're a musician for real, like I know I just talk about podcasts and shit all the time, but the audio department for real, you should check out their inventory list of instruments that are available to play there. If you want to just kind of like, I don't know, workshop some ideas, actually record something. They have got all kinds of cool shit at the audio department. I promise you that. Good? Good. Lots to talk about today because I am heading to Dallas in a few hours. We are going to watch games 1 and 2 down in Texas. I have never been there before, so I'm very, very excited. So let's just talk about it. Oilers made it through the Vancouver Canucks in Game 7. We talked about that yesterday. Go check out the emergency/recap podcast I did yesterday. We covered it all. It was just kind of 15 minutes of free flow and thoughts before I had to bail for a meeting. But you know what? I was excited. And I wanted to do an extra episode of the podcast. And I wanted to make it fun. And I just wanted to rant because I was super, 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 super excited. You know what I mean? I really, really love beating the Vancouver Canucks. And speaking of the Vancouver Canucks, it's almost like his ears are burning. Little Quads was texting me right now. And do you want to read that text for me, Little Quads?
Sure. If you want me to go into it right now, he just goes, as a friendly reminder, I need you to set up blank, 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 and give him some WordPress access so we can get him up and running on the WordPress sites. Please bump it up in your email. I'll reach out to you right now. There's Little Quads.
There's Little Quads asking me to do work things when I'm supposed to be better late than nevering. He knows this. I wouldn't even be surprised if Quads calls. We get an impromptu conversation with the real Quads.
What about me?
Well, maybe if you're around. Last night I was watching MILF Manor 2, and I was just kind of like trying to collect myself, put a list together of all the things I need to do before we head to the airport tonight. I'm on the red eye, by the way, which is not great for somebody who doesn't sleep well on planes, but we'll get through it. I was watching MILF Manor 2 last night, and I just can't think of a better show. I really can't. I know I'm distracted right now, but I'm just thinking about how these Cougs, by the way, there are more Cougs on season 2 than there were in season 1, although they did bring back that gross lady from season 1 into season 2 as like a wild card in the house. And she's equally gross this year, in my opinion. Kelly with an E is her name. If you watched last year, you probably know what I'm talking about. This is just my opinion. She's gross because of how she acts. She is like a horny 13-year-old boy wrapped up in a grandma's body. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I feel like at some point, I don't know. Here I am talking out my ass, 39 years old. I thought my sense of humor would mature as I got older, and it just really hasn't.
What do you mean? You don't want to talk to me anymore? I love the dark shit that goes on in your head. Believe me, Satan would do a podcast of his own, and I would just air out all your dirty laundry.
Don't even worry about that. But tonight I go to the airport tonight. We've got a 12:30 flight. We go to Atlanta. Then Atlanta, we got a quick layover, basically change planes, bop over to Dallas. I'm very, very excited. I've never been to Texas before. I've heard everything is bigger there. Is it true? I'll find out for myself. Do I need a 10-gallon hat to get into the arena? Should I have asked Chalmers to borrow his Stetson? Maybe I have to buy a Stetson on my own. Do I have to wear chaps? Do I have to let my bum cheeks hang out? Because they will be assless. Do I have to wear a bowler tie? Trying to think of all the Texas stereotypes I can think of. I need guns, Like, whenever the Oilers score, I assume I will be allowed to do some kind of Yosemite Sam situation where I'm just like, pew, 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 and I just like shoot off into the air. Some desk pops, if you whatever that Will Ferrell movie's called. Me and Will Ferrell can be friends again now that the LA Kings are out of the playoffs. Anyway, I'm super, super excited. So watch out for the socials on Oilers Nation and just all the boys in general. So I'm going down with Jay, Tyler, and Liam again. We're going to make a bunch of content. We're going to have some live on location kind of, some lives. We'll do some Ask Me Anythings. Just check us out on social. Oilers Nation, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at, TikTok. And then all of our personals were on those platforms as well. Liam will be tricky to find on Instagram because he's got about 15 accounts at this point. So just watch out for us. So since I had never been to Dallas before, I felt like I would start off the podcast with some fun facts about Dallas. So I found redfin.com. I assume they're a highly trusted site. 13 fun facts you did not know about Dallas, Texas. How well do you know your city? Not at all. That's why I'm here. Dallas and Fort Worth have a historical rivalry, so I don't want to read this whole paragraph. It seems very boring, but I assume it's like some kind of Springfield, Shelbyville situation. Maybe it's like a Calgary, Edmonton kind of vibe. If that's the thing, then I can definitely understand how that works. I can appreciate a good rivalry. Dallas-Fort Worth boasts one of the largest birthing communities in the U.S. Did you know that Dallas-Fort Worth area is one of the largest birthing communities in the country? There is a very large and growing birth and postpartum doula population, which includes a variety of midwives, newborn care specialists, lactation consultants, childbirth educators, and infant sleep trainers. There you go. If you're planning to have a baby, bring them down to Dallas. Apparently they know what to do. Dallas holds the largest record shop in the country called Josie Records, spans roughly 25,000 square feet. That is fucking huge. That is huge. You could fit 50,000 of my houses in there. They even have a stage for live music performances. I doubt I'll be able to get there, but I do love me a good record store. Even if I did buy some vinyl, I don't know how I would get it home, I guess. I would have to ship it. Number 4, the frozen margarita machine originated in Dallas. All right, well, I'll give him one of these for that. Who doesn't love a marg?
Oh, I love a frozen margarita. Sometimes in the summer, Satan likes to sit out in the kiddie pool in the backyard and crush margaritas all day long. And listen, if they're frozen margaritas, they basically have ice and water in them, so you're getting hydrated and shit-faced at the same time. Satan has got all kinds of summer tips, but we'll share those later on.
Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport is one of the busiest airports in the world. All right, I will see that firsthand tomorrow morning. The Texas State Fair is the largest fair in the United States. This Texas State Fair, held annually in Dallas, is the largest state fair in the United States, drawing over 2 million visitors each year. The fair is an iconic Texan event that offers visitors a chance to explore the state's rich history, culture, and traditions. All right. Dallas is the largest contiguous urban arts district. Contiguous? How do I say that word? Largest contiguous urban arts district. Dallas is home to the largest contiguous urban art district in the United States, spanning 68 acres and 19 blocks. That is cool as fuck. I love just art installments. I would love if we get some chance to do that. Maybe on the off day. Probably not. But we'll see. Nobody ever wants to do what Baggedmilk wants to do. Everybody's like, well, let's go golfing or something. I'm like, art? And everybody's like, fuck you. I'm like, And then I go sad. 7-Eleven was founded in Dallas in 1927. The first store opened. It offered locals access to necessary items like milk, bread, and eggs around the clock. Shout out to 7-Eleven. Best place to get a Slurpee, allegedly, in my opinion. Get the ultimate game day experience at a $1.3 billion stadium. The Dallas Cowboys football team is a beloved institution in Dallas, and the team's home stadium, AT&T Stadium, is a testament to the city's dedication to sports. $1.3 billion stadium boasts the world's largest high-definition video screen and offers an unparalleled game day experience for sports fans. You won't be able to see the Cowboys. I wonder if I'll drive by it. Again, I've never been to Dallas. I have no concept of where we're staying. I have no concept of anything. Dallas's skyline was designed by Pritzker Prize winners. Pritzker? I assume that's some kind of architecture award. Pritzker Prize winners. Dallas's skyline is a remarkable feat of architecture and boasts a collection of buildings designed by some of the world's most renowned architects. In fact, the city skyline is home to more buildings designed by Pritzker Prize winners than any other skyline in the world. That's fun. The first pro cheerleading squad in the world was founded in Dallas. It was the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, founded in 1972. Respect. The Dallas TV show is a legacy. There's people that love that show. I've never watched it. Couldn't tell you what happens. And Dallas is apparently a foodie's paradise with more than 11,000 restaurants in the city. Has more restaurants per capita than New York City. So what is Baggedmilk going to do? Sounds like a bunch of eating. A bunch of eating. And once I get myself some guns, well, come on. I'm just going to be out here like, man, where's my gun sounds? This one over here. And then the Oilers are going to score and I'll be like, woo! Something like that. I imagine that's how it'll go. And then everybody else around me will be like, anyway, let's get to the news. The news is brought to you by Star Mechanical, one of Edmonton's largest locally owned and operated plumbing and heating businesses. Star Mechanical has been working within the community for over 20 years, and many of the homes built in Edmonton over the last 2 decades have had their plumbing and heating systems installed by Star Mechanical. They offer 24/7 emergency services. They care about your budget and are highly skilled and accommodating for their customers. Visit starmechanical.ca. If you listened to the podcast yesterday, it was just a quick little 15-minute where I talked about the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, what did they do? I don't know what they did. They did something, but I can't remember what it was. If you ask a Canucks fan, it was nothing important, but to me it was... I love the Oilers beating the Canucks. I love it. Because if you think back... Why am I clipping like that? I turn myself down here. If you think back to even their series against the Nashville Predators, I think it was after games 4... whatever the one the Preds blew that 2-goal lead right at the end of the game, whatever the game that was, the Canucks fans were hitting the street chanting, fuck the Oilers, fuck McDavid, before they had even wrapped up their series. Move along to the second round. The Oilers lost game 1 in a disturbing fashion. They blew a 4-1 lead. Obviously, we know what happened. I was there. We were getting abuse from left, right, and center. Some of it fun, some of it not. Some of it funny, most of it not. The thing about Canucks fans, too, is they have like 3 jokes, and they just recycle them over and over and over again. And the fact is, they stole most of them from Flames fans, which is extra embarrassing. Because if your high watermark of chirping is stealing stuff from Flames fans and trying to crowbar it into a new version, like how many times, if you were on social media during the course of that second round, did you hear someone go, oh, well, at least I don't have to live in Edmonton? Let's be honest. Edmonton's awesome. You don't like the winter? Fine. You know what? I get to visit Vancouver 2, 3, 4 times a year whenever I kind of have some time and a little bit of some vibes to go. And then I get to leave. And the fun part is a lot of people that were standing up for Vancouver as the greatest city of all time probably don't even live in Vancouver. They live on the periphery because Vancouver itself is just so inaffordable for most people. Unaffordable? Inaffordable. Unaffordable. So the Oilers beat the Canucks in Game 7 in their own barn. It was the first time anyone in the series managed to win back-to-back games. The Oilers got the job done. Vancouver fans moving the goalposts all over. And I quote, It's not really a quote. It's just from my head, but you get the idea.
Well, listen, they didn't have Demko and they didn't have Besser, so the Oilers, they didn't really beat the Canucks and they got pushed to 7. Everybody thought the Oilers were going to win, and they took 7 games to get the job done.
Okay. Rebuttal. Did they win? Oh, nothing to say? Oh, okay. Of course they won. How you get there really doesn't matter when you're talking about a 7-game series. Yeah, it would have been nice if the Oilers clipped them off in 4 or 5 games, and they probably could have if they didn't stop shooting themselves in the foot with lackluster goaltending and just, disappointing giveaways that were costly. But the point of the matter is that they got the job done. Say whatever you like about how the Oilers beat the Canucks. The most important part is that they did beat the Canucks. Let's think about that for a second. All the excuses in the world, and you still lost. You still lost. Well, that's unfortunate, really. And not only did they lose in games 6 and 7, they got absolutely dominated. Let's be honest. Had it not been for Artur Silovs, who, by the way, saved the Canucks so many times in that series, had it not been for him, that game 7 game would have probably ended 6 or 7-2. If they even would have gotten that far, because the Canucks only really started scoring at the end. Ryan McLeod made that tough mistake. After them, they had some momentum. They were going to push. We all knew it was coming. But let's be honest. If it wasn't for Artur Silovs, they got dominated in that game. The Oilers were so much better than them, it wasn't really close.
But let me hear again about how you won all 4 games in the regular season. Let me hear it again. One more time. Oh, we swept you in the regular season. We won the division.
How'd that work out? Looking at that series, Evan Bouchard became the first D-man ever in NHL history. Ever in NHL history. To have 20 points through the first 2 rounds. Think about that for a second. Think of the defenseman, the best defenseman you can think of. They didn't put up that production. That's the point I'm getting at. Now, is Evan Bouchard the perfect player? No. There's some times where on the defensive side, you wish he had a little bit more urgency, but I could not be happier with him. Full stop. My thought is I'm going to enjoy this player as long as I can because the Oilers have an absolute stud on their hands. Again, first D-man ever to reach 20 points in the first 2 rounds alone. Leon Draisaitl picked up his 62nd playoff assist in Game 7, which put him past Charlie Huddy for 7th most in Oilers franchise history. Draisaitl also registered his 22nd career playoff power play helper, so an assist on the power play, which put him past Esa Tikkanen for 8th most in Oilers history. Leon also has a point in all 12 playoff games the Oilers have played so far this season. He enters Dallas on a 12-game point streak. Every game. We saw him with the issues with the back or whatever was going on. We were like, oh no, what's going to happen to Leon? The answer, nothing. He's going to get better somehow. He is going to get better. Not only that, friends, the Edmonton Oilers are the first team in NHL history to have 3 players with 20-plus points through 2 rounds. McDavid had 21, Draisaitl leads the way with 24, and Evan Bouchard had 20. This is the kind of production you just cannot match. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins wasn't that far away. He had 16 points through 12 games, so he's pumping out points now. He had 7 points in his last 5 games in that series, including 3 goals, 4 assists, 2 of those goals at 5-on-5, by the way.
Power play merchant, Ninja only scores on power play.
Does he? He fucking cranked it up for you. Let's get on board. Evander Kane had some big goals in that series as well. We're going to need him going into Dallas. Matthias Ekholm started the series with 3 goals in 3 games. He looked great. Dylan Holloway got the bump up to Leon Draisaitl's line. He looked great. Playoff Kulak looking great. Cody Ceci, all of a sudden, Cody Ceci, Mr. Game 7. Nobody had Cody Ceci opening the score on Game 7 on their bingo board. I guarantee you didn't, but then maybe we should. Maybe we should have. Because if you think back to Game 7 against the Los Angeles Kings at Rogers Place 2 years ago, who opened the scoring? Cody Ceci. Full stop. Let's fucking go. Going into Dallas, this is going to be a major challenge for the Oilers. There's no doubt about it because they are just... They're the best team the Oilers have played in the playoffs so far. And I don't think it's close, and I don't think anybody's going to argue. But when I look at the production that the Oilers have at the top of their lineup, they are getting so much more done than the Stars are. Now, the Stars are going to be much different challenge defensively. We've all seen the numbers from NHL Sid. If you haven't, go check them out. That first pairing of what are those guys' names? It's Chris Tanev. Oilers tried to get him. Apparently, there's a guy from Dallas who said that Chris Tanev chose the Stars over the Oilers. If that's the case, fuck you. That pairing has done a very, very good job of shutting down both McKinnon in the second round and Eichel in the first round. So I'm very, very curious to see who gets McDavid, who gets Draisaitl, because having those two split up is going to be a different challenge for Dallas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because right now, currently, Miro Heiskanen, who is a damned good defenseman, by the way, the Oilers are going to have to contend with him. He's going to be better than Quinn Hughes was in the second round. I imagine by the time a lot of us hear this podcast and the Canucks are going to have their season-ending interviews, Quinn Hughes will probably be dead, and that's why he didn't play well, and that's how the playoffs go. But right now, Miro Heiskanen is leading the Dallas Stars in points with 13. He has 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points. Wyatt Johnston leads the team in goals with 7. Jason Robertson is in second place. He's got 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points. Johnston's got 11 points. Jamie Benn's got 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. The point that I'm getting at here is that only Alex Petrovic, who's only played 1 game in the playoffs so far, is the only player without a point on the Dallas Stars. If you go over to the Oilers side of things, Corey Perry doesn't have a point. Ryan McLeod doesn't have a point. So we need some better production from those for sure. Same thing goes with Connor Brown. Need you, buddy. Had you scored on that breakaway, that shorthanded breakaway in Game 7, a lot of those sins would have been forgiven. Sam Carrick picked up a point. I thought he looked really good in Game 6 and Game 7. Darnell Nurse has 2 assists. We need more from Warren Fogle. Adam Henrique is expected to come back for the Western Conference Finals. Probably won't play in Game 1, but he should be available earlier in the series per Chris Knobloch. Need him to get going. In 6 games, he has 2 points. Matthias Janmark, 3 points in the 12. Cody Ceci, 3 points in the 12. But at the top end is not really close. As I mentioned, Leon Draisaitl, 24 points in 12 games. He's got 8 goals, 16 assists. He's at a 2-point per game clip right now. Connor McDavid, 21 points in 12 games. He's only got 2 goals, though. And if Connor McDavid can get some scoring going in this round against Dallas, we have got a real chance here. We're going to talk about some of the odds in the betting segment for Bet365, but right now the Oilers are underdogs. I hope they got that underdog mentality. I hope they do. Evan Bouchard, electric in the second round. He's got 5 goals and 15 assists in 12 games. The point is, the Oilers' high-end offense is better than what the Dallas Stars are getting, but I would argue that the Dallas Stars are getting more from throughout their lineup. That's going to be a challenge here. So if we kind of saw off the top of the lineup, assuming that the Oilers may outscore the top end of Dallas's lineup, a lot of this is going to be coming down to what happens lower in the lineup. A lot happens on the 3rd and 4th lines. Now, the Oilers' 3rd and 4th lines haven't been bad. They just haven't been producing as much as we'd like, probably. I don't think that's unfair to say, right? Like, Ryan McLeod doesn't have a point yet. Ryan McLeod made that very, very, what could have been a horrible error in Game 7. He didn't see another shift after that. We need him to, again, defensively he's been solid, but we need him to be doing something offensively as well. Warren Fogle, looking straight at you, bro. Contract year Fogle. During the regular season, you were amazing. But in the Stanley Cup Finals, you've just been incredibly quiet, and we're going to need more from Warren Fogle. I don't think that's unfair to say. Is it? I don't think so. You had a 20-goal season this year, my man. First ever 20-goal season of your career. You want to go cash the bag in the offseason. Let's get some points going here in the playoffs, baby. I guarantee that'll add a couple of shekels in your jeans. No doubts about it in my mind. Either way, we have got a big, big series coming up, and I cannot wait to get down there. I can't wait to get started. I just think this is going to be a lot more fun than some people think. There's a lot of people, if you read the pundits and the predictions, most people have the Oilers losing this. I'm not so sure about that. So I'm going to wrap up the news. My official prediction is going to be Oilers in 7 again. They're going to win a second straight series in the opposition's barn in the 7th and deciding game. That is my prediction. Hit me up. I want to hear yours, and that's where we're going to end the news. The news is brought to you by Star Mechanical. 20 years. They've been doing it in the community. They offer 24/7 emergency services. Their team of tradespeople are highly skilled and always accommodating. Visit starmechanical.ca for more information. Make sure your home is running properly.
Your
You're listening to Better Late Than Never. I knew you had a little bit of taste. Good work.
Doing a little betting talk for our friends at Bet365. The betting segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Better Late Than Never. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. That is promo code OILYBONUS. One more time, promo code Oily Bonus. The Oily Boys give you the Oily Bonus. Go sign up for an account at Bet365, provided that you are of a legal betting age. Now, I got a couple of future bets that I want to walk through for you. Oilers, as I mentioned, are the underdogs. Not crazy underdogs by any stretch, but Oilers to win this series is plus 115. So you're going to more than double your money if you bet on the Oilers to win the series. I personally think it's a good bet because I believe the Oilers can beat the Stars. Yes, the season series was 1 win for the Oilers, 2 wins for the Stars in the 3 games they played. But as we just saw against the Canucks, what happened in the regular season really doesn't matter. So the Oilers to win the series is at plus 115. The Stars are at minus 130. So they are the underdogs right now, currently according to the betting markets. But I don't know that I buy that. So I'm going to sprinkle a couple of shekels on the Oilers to win this series. The other one I'm very interested in about, and this kind of seems like a super solid bet to me, is Bet365 has got a head-to-head goals option. And they've got Leon Draisaitl versus Connor McDavid. So essentially, who's going to score more goals in the series between those two? Leon Draisaitl is at minus 130, so he is favored, and there's good reason for it. He is just an absolute stud in the playoffs. Connor McDavid, though, is even money. So given the fact that Connor only had 2 goals against in the playoffs, 1 goal per series effectively, not effectively, that's what happened. I wonder if he's going to be trying to shoot a little bit more. I think Connor's banged up, and I would bet the farm on the fact that he is, but having him only have 1 goal per series, that's not something that's going to happen forever. So Connor McDavid could surprise, and he's at even money. So if you put $5 down, you would get $10 back. Makes sense? You get your 5 original and then the 5 profit, $10. Leon Draisaitl versus Connor McDavid. Who will have the most goals in the series? And this is just straight up. Dallas players included, Oilers included. Zachary Martin Hyman. He is currently the Oilers' goal leader. He's favored to get the most goals in the series of the Oilers players. He is minus 175. Leon Draisaitl is next up at minus 140. Connor McDavid minus 130. So that one's interesting to me. Connor McDavid's at minus 130 to win most goals in the series, but he's at even money just to beat Leon. So if we're talking about value, going head-to-head with Leon is probably the better bet there. Looking at a couple of the deeper picks, if you want to chase a little bit. Vander Kane, plus 450. If we can get playoff Evander Kane for a 3rd straight round, hopefully maybe he's getting a little bit healthier after where he was leading into the LA series, because he's been playing some good hockey, man. Plus 450 for him to get the most goals in the series. My boy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who again, 3 goals in his last 4 games of the Canucks series, he is plus 475 to get the most goals in this series. If I was to look at it, I know the odds aren't the juiciest. I would probably take Zach Hyman at minus 175 or Leon Draisaitl at minus 140. Both of those guys know how to fill the net. Both of those guys have done it before and are currently doing it now. So there you go. A couple of bets from our friends at Bet365. Open an account with Bet365 today on bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS.
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the jimmy.
For Trilogy Oilfield Rentals, it is time for the righteous fact beating. Of course, Trilogy Oilfield Rentals are an established provider of tools and expertise across multiple oil field disciplines, specializing in rentals, pipe recovery, abandonments, and completions. Currently, they maintain full-time operating units in Provost, Weyburn, and Kindersley. What kind of tools they got? I thought you'd never ask.
Rental tools, fishing tools, coil tools, drilling tools, mills and bits, completion tools, any tool for any job. TrilogyRentals.ca.
Shout out to Trilogy Rentals. Also, shout out to the boss man at Trilogy Rentals, Kerry. He is a fresh grandpapa. His son just had a baby boy not long ago, and I'm just super excited for him. He's a great guy. Super excited, and I was very, very happy to hear the news.
righteous sack beating's supposed to be full of rage, not wonderful baby news. Let's get to it.
All right, so I'm heading down to Dallas for games 1 and 2, and the first thing that I could think of when I go, oh man, I get to go see another NHL arena. I get to see another, experience a different playoff environment for the first time ever. I've been very, very fortunate in my time at Oilersnation. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Los Angeles. I've been to Vancouver, gone to games in Calgary. This is a different thing. This is going to Texas. This is going to Dallas. I have hated the Dallas Stars since the late 90s. If you're old enough to remember those series in the late 90s and the early aughts, you know that outside of 1997, when Todd Marchand blew past Grant Ledyard, who's probably still pivoting, allegedly, in my opinion, things didn't go well for us. So I think of the Dallas Stars as the team that I've hated for decades, and now I'm going to go down there and experience what a game is going to be like there against a team that I've hated for so long, a team that has kind of developed my brain in a way for having hockey rivalries and carrying them forward with me. This isn't just the Flames we're talking about. Of course, nobody likes the Calgary Flames. I don't even think Calgary Flames fans like the Calgary Flames, but the Dallas Stars, when I was a kid, a young bag of milk, when I was a kid, they ruined my spring every single year, and it was heartbreaking. So I'm carrying that down with me. I'm carrying that energy down with me, even if most of the people at the Stars game probably have no idea why I don't like them. The other thing that I'm looking forward to getting annoyed by, and I guarantee it's going to annoy me, is please don't let me sit next to that glass banging guy. Right as I said, glass banging guy, you know who I'm talking about. He's got that shitty tan jacket. He's got a sign that says bang, and he's trying to turn that into a brand. I can't think of anybody more annoying than that dude. There's the guy, cameras down in the certain one end of play, and the guy turns around and waves at the camera. That guy's annoying. But this dude who's got season tickets clearly sitting behind the net, and he wants to make it all about himself. He's always standing. He's always banging on the glass. I don't know how anybody that sits in that section can stand that dude. I know that I'm going to be watching him more than I should be when I'm in Dallas and just seething about it, because I can't think of a fan that annoying if I tried, and I just went to games in Vancouver. That fan base is arguably the worst of all. But this individual, the glass banging guy, it doesn't get much worse than that. For Trilogy Oilfield Rentals, that's the righteous sack beating.
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the jimmy.
You're listening to Edmonton's best dating podcast for hopeless hockey fans. Better late than never. With your love guru, Bagged Milk.
Time for the voicemail. Not a lot of voicemails this week. It's the lightest week we've had in quite some time. Interesting. Did I make fun of too many of you? Are you mad at me? Don't get mad at me. Go check out my social media everywhere. It is in my link tree. Leave me a voicemail. Chime in on the podcast. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, go to Greta on away games. We will be hosting watch parties again. First watch party at Greta downtown Edmonton is going to be happening tomorrow. That is Thursday. Make your way down. It's a 6:30 start, everybody. Grab some dinner. Play a little vids. Play some Mario Kart. Challenge Waz to the football game. Waz needs practice. So go challenge him. He'll be there. He would love to play against you. Hell, Waz might even give you a free gaming card. So get on down to Greta. Watch parties every away game. And we are going to start off this week's voicemail with the good sir, Captain Felton.
This is your captain speaking in Vancouver. Just after the Oilers lost in Game 5. But guess what? We're going to be back here in Game 7, baby. Woo! Let's go!
If you haven't seen Captain Felton's bit that he does, he has a little Stanley Cup he wears around his neck for every game. And after every Oilers win, he takes a shot out of the top of the Stanley Cup. Go follow Captain Felton on social. He's very, very entertaining. His shtick is excellent. And he's a better person than his shtick is great, or even the voices he leaves on the voicemail. I love that dude. These are going to be fun a little bit because obviously Captain Felton just left that voicemail after the Game 5 loss. It was incredibly disappointing. And the next one comes in from Depressed Nick. Depressed Nick, what have you got to say?
Hey, Big Milk. This is dejected, disheartened, disillusioned, depressed. Big Dick Nick leaving a coming in. This game was kind of shit, man. Oilers lose game 5.
Game 5 was awful. That was, I think I said it yesterday, but to be honest, that was the only game that the Canucks deserved to win. That was the only game of the series where they actually outplayed the Oilers and won because they deserved to win. The other two losses, or the other two wins that they had, the Oilers pissed those away. Game 1, up 4-1, pissed it away. Game 3, outshot Vancouver 45-18. They couldn't get a save they needed. Pissed it away. So to me, Game 5 was the only one that Vancouver actually deserved. Back to you, depressed Nick.
To the Canucks. I'm leaving on about take 15 of this voicemail right now, because this is how I'm relieving stress and relieving anger. Because after games, I can't just go to bed. I need to do something to relieve stress.
I've got an idea of what you could do to relieve your stress if you can't sleep.
And you know what? Instead of like punching a hole in my drywall or masturbating, I just leave voicemails here and then don't send them in.
Apparently he has the same idea, Sadie. Back to you, Nick.
Man, I'm just... That JT Miller goal just took the air right out of my fucking tires.
Yeah. It's kind of funny hockey, right? Like, Game 4, the Oilers scored with 39 seconds left. Elation. It's just the highs and lows of pro sports. You know, the Oilers score that final goal in Game 4, under a minute left. Place goes bananas. Me and sales guy Jared were hugging for a solid 5-6 minutes there. And then the exact same thing happens to us in Game 5, but this time it's JT Miller that gets the job done with like 35, 33, something like that. And you just go, fuck. Almost the exact same situation, but not quite, really. Not quite. But I'm with you, Nick. I want to ride you through on this one because I want to see the roller coaster of emotions you're on, because I see you again later in the voicemail, so this should be very entertaining. Also, the outtakes from those 14 voicemails you didn't send in probably were outstanding.
But we didn't deserve to be in that game.
True.
That second period was awful.
Yep.
Or so I'm told. I fell asleep in intermission and woke up about halfway through. But from what I saw, we did not deserve that win. We were not the better team.
They were
we
not.
had the better goalie, and unfortunately, we didn't get the win.
Yep.
Please just don't let this be the end. Come on, boys. I believe in you. Baggedmilk believes in you. Frank believes in you. That cunt in England believes in you. Come on, boys.
Wow. Why is Donkey Volley taking some shrapnel here? Oh, and a hard C-bomb, too. I don't know. It's just not as playful as when Duke says it, you know? When Duke says it, it kind of just like rolls off the tongue with the accent, and you kind of go, oh, that's all right. But when you said it, it's just very sharp. Good Lord. Kyle the Embalmer, you're up.
Hey, BM. So it's Friday. The Oilers played like absolute shit last night. So hopefully they will play better than that tomorrow so that we can go to Game 6. But in the meantime, I figured I'd do something positive. So yesterday was a double donation day for my campaign, and you guys absolutely killed it.
Love that.
I had a goal of 2,000. I needed to hit 1,000, basically $500 in donations to hit my goal. I actually finished with, I am $64 short of 3,000. So you guys did absolutely amazing.
Awesome, man. I love to hear that. Shout out to everybody that donated to Kyle's campaign. Like, none of you know Kyle. I mean, I do, but like, none of you guys know Kyle personally, probably. But the fact that you were willing to donate some money and help him achieve his goal and get to the $2,000 mark that he set and then surpass it by almost another $1,000. That's truly remarkable. So thank you so much to everybody that listens to this, shared the links, donated, all of that. Back to you, Kyle.
I thank everybody that's donated. There is some people I want to give a shout out to for sure. Danger Suede being an absolute menace and just donating constantly with all these entertaining names. There's also William.
Danger Suede, good man. Shout out to Danger Suede.
AKA I beat Bag Milk. Huge donation. Thank you so much. And then the biggest people I want to thank is Kyler Kotak, who was my biggest donator and the person that really facilitated and helped me the most in getting these donations, of course, was yourself, Bag Milk. So thank you so much for allowing me to use your platform to help out the Stollery. And thank everybody again for all of your donations.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Thank you guys so much for donating to Kyle's campaign. Last week, he told the story about his children having to be at the Stollery and what it means to him. And to hear that you guys really took it to heart and really helped him out to get to the goal and then surpass it by, almost another 50% is just pretty amazing. So thank you so much to everybody that parted with dollars that are not easy to come by these days. Thank you for doing that. That's really, really incredible. Really, really incredible.
Don't know where to go with it. It's currently over 3 Edmonton 2. I think we've been all over them this series. The old problems are coming in. We love Skinner. I love Pickard, but quite there. And that is going to be a thing. I've got a friend who's a New Jersey Devils fan. Yeah, exactly. And he's telling me, you need to trade one of Conor or Leon, which is sacrilege.
Isn't it funny how the other fan bases, they've always got good ideas, don't they? They're like, oh, no. What the Oilers need to do is they need to trade one of the best 2 players on the planet. That'll definitely fix them. I know I cheer for the New Jersey Devils, and they didn't even make the playoffs this year, but I've got an idea. You got to trade one of those 2 guys. The series is down 3-2. There's no way they could win 2 games against Vancouver and close off the series. There's no way that could happen. The best idea that you can do is probably to trade Connor and Leon because they're only in it for themselves. They don't want to win. You didn't see them over the last 2 games blocking shots and playing some of the best defensive hockey they've ever played. But if you ignore those 2 facts, then, I think that trading them is probably a pretty good idea.
Sacrilege. And then he's saying, you would win the cup if you got rid of one of them and got a top-end goalie.
Oh, yeah, if you trade one of the best players on the earth, you just got to get a goalie, man. Just got to get a goalie. I mean, like Leon Draisaitl is producing points at 2 points a game in the playoffs, and Connor McDavid, he's clearly injured, but he still has 21 points in 12 games. But you'll probably be better off without that. There are plenty of cases of teams winning in the NHL with just average goaltending, and just average goaltending can get the job done, provided that you have high-end skill and high-end talent on your team. But I know the Oilers have that, and they also have Evan Bouchard, who's playing out of his goddamn mind right now. But the only solution here is to trade the best players. Maybe trade them for shit, trade them for draft picks. As a New Jersey Devil fan, I would feel bad for you if that happened, but I would love to see it because I'm kind of getting bricked up just thinking about it.
And I don't want to hear that. But it might be the key.
Nope.
Please don't ask me who to trade. Please don't.
Neither.
I love Connor. I love Leon. Connor Leon. Please don't do this. But one might have to. Oh.
Donkey, I hope there's one of these last unnamed voicemails from 2-3 days later that are also from you. And I encourage you to send the impression of me doing the impression of your New Jersey Devils fan right to them because I'm pretty accurate, aren't I? Listen, being down 3-2, was it annoying? Sure. Did the Oilers piss away games that they probably should have won? Absolutely. Job's not finished. There's that famous Kobe Bryant thing where job's not finished. And there was a lot of celebration by Vancouver Canucks fans and other fan bases when the Oilers went down 3-2. And you know what happened? They played their best hockey of the series. Backs against the wall. They didn't fold the tent. They came out swinging. And Donkey Volley, that's the spirit I need from you, sir. I don't know that I've ever seen you so down before. And yet there you were. Oilers were down 3-2 in the series after Game 5. Played like shit. Deserved to lose, in my opinion. But it was meant to be. It was meant to be. The Oilers were the better team. because of the two players that your New Jersey Devils fan wants to trade. Oh, but yeah, sure. I mean, like they were pretty good in game 6 and game 7. But like, as a New Jersey Devils fan, we just hired Sheldon Keefe, and he's had plenty of success in the playoffs. Don't look that up. He's got great head of hair. Silver Fox, as far as I'm concerned. And the guy who keeps losing in the first and second round is probably going to be the one that takes the New Jersey Devils all the way. I can promise you that. I just think that it's going to be different from his time in Toronto. You know, maybe if we trade Jack Hughes for a better coach, maybe that'll help us go over the hump. You know, maybe.
Okay, I just had to jump back quick because I listened back to my voicemail and realized how fucking stupid I am. Obviously, I meant the Oilers going to game 7, not game 6.
Well, they did it. It's fine.
But I guess that's what happens when you decide to send it after one take instead of making a second. And other than that...
That's the beauty of one take, huh? It's the imperfections of life. Sometimes we fumfer over our words. Sometimes we fumble fuck what we're trying to say. But ultimately, it's authentic. It's unscripted. It's exactly what we need to do. Here I am, 46 minutes into this podcast. Have I mumbled a couple of words that don't make sense? You damn well know I have. Back to you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and also I had to make another correction because I fucking blew it. Last week, I talked about my son, and it was pointed out to me that he hasn't been seizure-free for 3 years. He's been seizure-free for 5 years. So thanks to Mrs. Embalmer for pointing that shit out.
Well, listen. Time is a flat circle. Sometimes we forget how old our kids are. I don't blame you for that, Kyle.
But other than that... Thank you again for everyone for your donations. Let's go Oilers. And hopefully there was a game 7 because obviously when we're listening to this, it'll be past this series one way or the other. So go Oilers.
The Oilers did win Game 7, and Satan's been tweaking his nipples ever since. As soon as the clock wound down to 0 and the Oilers were moving on, I watched all the boys embrace and pop my tarp off and started tweaking my nipples one at a time. One was getting cranked counterclockwise, the other one was getting cranked clockwise. I was just really working on my coordination. Satan's ambidextrous, so I can twist one nipple clockwise and the other one counterclockwise. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here now. What's the next voicemail?
Is it Phil Collins? Phil Collins is on the podcast. You know I can't play music, so I'm going to see where this goes, but I might have to clip it if it, you know. All right, I can't play that. Fucking animals. I do love Phil Collins, though. It's a great song. Great song. That song always, like, I mean, it's like a recency bias kind of thing, I suppose, even though the movie's quite old at this point. But that song, like the drum fill, it kind of reminds me of The Hangover a lot lately. When Mike Tyson does the drum fill and then punches Zach Galifianakis in the face. Reminds me of that Tyson versus Jake Paul fight that's coming up. I just really hope that Tyson rips his fucking head off. Listen, credit to Jake Paul. I watched the Untold Stories on him that's on Netflix. I raised my level of respect for him as a boxer, but like, you're fighting the champ here. You were fighting a dude who's a straight killer, and I would just love to see you get that smug look knocked off your face by a man who was close to 60. Who knows? It's going to be on Netflix. I'm looking forward to it. Next up, Victorious Nick. This one came in yesterday, so I got a feeling we're having a different tone than Depressed Nick from a handful of days ago.
Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers. Baggedmilk? After Game 5, I was pretty down and out, man.
Yes, you were. That voicemail, if I take you at your word that you had 14 takes before that, I would have loved to hear those.
I was pretty dejected, but I'm glad I'm a fucking moron because we are going to the conference finals again. Let's go, baby.
The first step is admitting that you're a moron. I, myself, have been a moron for 39 years now. Can't imagine it going away anytime soon. Back to you.
And I'm on Instagram right now, Baggedmilk. Mm-hmm. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. And you know what I'm seeing, buddy?
What is it?
Everyone is picking the Dallas Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is counting out the Edmonton Oilers.
Yep.
And you know what I say, Baggedmilk?
Fuck them.
Sounds like we got them right where we want them.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like we're being underestimated. Let's go Oilers, baby. Fuck Vancouver. In all seriousness, it was a hell of a series. Vancouver, I respect the team, the fans.
Fans suck.
Some of those toxic fuckers can, you know what? You deserve this, L. But you know what? It was a hell of a series. Good game, guys. Let's go, baby. Bring on the Stars.
It was a great series. It was a lot of fun. And I even love the fact that the Canucks fans are as annoying as they are, because ultimately, at the end of the day, they got the L they deserve. And I hope for all of us Oilers fans, let's just keep that as a lesson of not being too cocky no matter what happens in this Western Conference Finals. If we find ourselves up to rip after 2 games, 2 wins in Dallas, that's what I'm hoping for. Job's not finished, no matter what. Because the Canucks celebrated like the job was finished after they won game 1. So let's pump the brakes, everybody. We've been here before. Oilers are the underdogs. Hope they have that underdog mentality. I'm looking forward to it. Anonymous caller. Oh my. Who be you?
Hey, we did it. I'm really pumped. I'm really pumped. It was really stressful. But you know what? Yeah, after the Game 5 loss, I was really, really, really bummed out.
A lot of us were down bad, man. So behind the scenes, I walked into Nation HQ after Game 5. I watched it at Greta, and we were doing our viewing party. The clock struck. There was like 8 seconds left, and the Canucks cleared it. I just got up and left. I had to write my article that night. I did not want to be around anybody. I just wanted to sit in the dark in my office here at my house, write my article, and just move on with my life. I didn't give up hope. The next day, I walked into Nation HQ, and Jay called me into his office, and he goes, "What was that? What was that last night?" I go, "It's not great." He goes, "Do you believe?" I say, "What is our mantra at Oilers Nation? Tell me what it is." And he goes, "Hope will never die." I go, "There you fucking go. Remember it. I don't want to hear that out of you again." And then Jay turned himself around. Oilers turned themselves around. Gotta believe, baby. We gotta believe.
And then sometime the next day, I just started getting unusually optimistic. Like, more optimistic than maybe I normally would be in this type of situation. And I just had a feeling, like, how many times during the year have we won 2 games in a row? Is what I kept saying to myself. It's like, we can do it. Like, yeah, okay, we can not do it. Like, that's definitely a possibility in that given situation. But I just had a feeling. And then, of course, we won game 6, and I was like, we got to win 1 game. And we did it. So here we are. Really, really, really excited. I know it's a big, big mountain we got to climb here, but you know what? If we're playing how we did in the first 2 periods of game 7, I mean, I don't think there's many teams that could beat us. We just got to keep playing our game like that and not let up. I really hope we learned from our couple little bits of not really trying as hard as we should be. Go Oil. May this run continue. This is awesome.
May the run continue forever. And I hope that the Oilers, and I believe that they are mature enough as a club, as a hockey team, that they can look at some of the lessons from the first 2 rounds and build off them. I really believe that they can. This team is not a bunch of young kids anymore who haven't been battle tested in the playoffs. They've been here. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. Remember when they got swept by Colorado 2 years ago and they went on to win the Cup? I bet they've learned some lessons that they're carrying forward into this year's Western Conference Finals again. It can't be all offense. It's got to be more of a 2-way game. And like you just said, the first 2 periods of Game 7, that's the recipe. The way they won Game 6, that's the recipe. Lay that blueprint out, and this is anybody's series. I feel good about it. I feel good about the Oilers being underdogs. Fuck the Dallas Stars, man. Take that underdog mentality and apply it on the ice. You've got all kinds of assholes with opinions saying that the Oilers are not going to win this thing. Use that. Channel it. Funnel it as rage. Print all those tweets and put them up on the board in your dressing room. Fuck everybody. Oilers forever. Let's go. Anonymous caller, who be you?
Good afternoon. Nah, fuck that. I'm not donkey. Mate, just listening to your little recap reaction, something just fell down, episode, And the way you said, like, I could not agree more with your point about, you know, if you're a cunt in fucking, you know.
See, when he says it, it doesn't sound as sharp as when Nick said it. I mean, it still pierces the eardrums and it gives them a little tickle and it goes,
"Hello there, Daddy."
But then all of a sudden, the accent, the Australian accent, it just kind of charms the whole thing away. Anyway, back to you, Dukes.
November, December, writing off the team and all that stuff. Like, you don't deserve the joy. And I think, yeah, you bang on. But I also think that extends to, like, the people, you know, game 6, oh, we're going to start Stu again. Oh, fucking blah, 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 blah. Mate, fuck off. If you saying, oh, we're never going to win, Stu, fuck. Mate, you don't deserve to enjoy the win. If you're one of them cunts who, like, wanted to murder Darnell Nurse and Cody Cece, mate, Cece scored the goal. Darnell gave the boys the rallying speech, fucking whatever you call it, to, like, settle the nerves, all that. We don't win Game 7 without all three of them cunts. So if you're one of them people who were like, piss off. Go follow the Flames, because we don't want you here, because it's good vibes only. Round 3, Western Conference Finals. Let's fucking go play La Bamba, baby.
How can you not love Dukes' enthusiasm? You know what I mean? Like, the guy just comes in here like a bundle of energy, and he says what needs to be said, including... Shout out to Ben. This is Ben's team, always will be. I am very, very much looking forward to the Western Conference Final. Fuck everybody. Oilers by 1,000,000 every single night. I'll be betting on it with Bet365. I'm manifesting with my heart, and I believe in the team, man. I believe in the boys. Until we're out, my hope will never die. Got it? Good. Final voicemail of the week comes in from the one, the only, LCYEG. What do you guys say?
Hey, Bag Milk. I am stoked for this Dallas series. I think we got this. It's going to be scary and stressful and all of the heart-pounding emotions that you feel in any playoff game. Mm-hmm. But I like that we are the underdogs. I like that people are already discounting the Oilers, because the Oilers seem to do better when we're the underdogs. So let's go. What I am not looking forward to are the Dallas fans. I feel like in all of these series so far, it's been the fans that get under my skin the most. Yeah. Especially the Dallas glass pounding guy and the fans that don't sit down. Like, freaking sit down.
LCYG, you and I are kindred sometimes, and the glass banging guy, I did an RSB about him a little bit earlier. It is going to be interesting for me to be in there, because I also noticed everybody standing up for no reason. That's going to be very annoying. That's a very football thing to do. I notice that when I go to NFL games, people stand up for no reason, particularly. It's going to be weird and interesting to kind of experience that, but I'm completely with you on glass banging guy. He's so annoying. But at the same point, I have a hard time feeling like Stars fans could be anywhere near as annoying as Canucks fans, but maybe that was just a bias that I carry.
It just, I don't know. It's gonna get to me the most for some reason. Anyways, go Oilers. Oilers in 7. Let's fucking go. Bye, Bag Milk.
Let's fucking go is right. What else do you need to say but that? Oilers in 7. I'm with you. Let's fucking go. I'm with you. I love the idea that they're the underdogs. Bring that Mamba mentality, baby. Bring that Mamba mentality. Everybody's counting you out. Well, let's show you who should be counted out. Let's play some good hockey, and the Stars, they're going to have trouble with it. If the Oilers are at their best, they can beat anybody in the NHL. And that's what they're going to need to bring to Dallas. That's what they're going to need to bring at Rogers Place. That's what they're going to need to bring throughout this series. Anybody who thinks this is going to be a walk for Dallas, I just don't think you watch enough Oilers games. And that's just, yeah, I'm biased. Yeah, I'm an Oilers homer. I would never deny that I am. But that's what I believe in my spirit. I'm with LCYEG once again. And that is how we're going to wrap up the voicemail. The voicemail is brought to you by nationgear.ca. Go get some threads wrapped around that beautiful corpse of yours. I guess you're still alive. That beautiful body of yours. Better Late Than Never hoodies are up. 3 flavors, black, gray, white. All of them look sexy. All of them look very, very good on you. Or on the floor of your loved one's bedroom. Hey-o. Nationgear.ca. Go get yourself some threads. that's where we're going to wrap up the podcast. Again, I am off to Dallas here in a couple of hours, and well, more than a couple, 7 hours. I'm leaving for Dallas. So I got to get some stuff done, and I will talk to you on different shows while we're down there. We are packing up our stuff, and we are heading to Dallas to cover the first 2 games of this series, and I hope you are following along the ride with us. Thank you very much for being here. And as we're going to do, we're going to wrap this up with an original by our boy Donkey Volley, who I hope is feeling a little bit better than he was after that Game 5 loss, okay? Okay.
My ears are sexy and yours are too. What do we listen to? Our ears so true. We got